Hello everyone and Nyan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Gregg. I just googled his middle name right before this. Charles Popovich, also known as Pop. Pop has been coaching the Spurs for the past 24 years. He has won NBA Coach of the Year 3 times, led the Spurs organization to 5 NBA titles, coached the U.S. national team, holds the NBA record for most coaching victories, and is the longest tenured coach in major U.S. pro sports leagues. Has accomplished all of this and more at the young age of 71. Jacob clap. Thank you. Okay. But that is not exactly what I'm going to be covering for the sake of this video. Pop has a bit of a reputation for being woke. Spurs center / power forward LaMarcus Aldridge said in an interview with Undefeated in 2016 that Popovich is not a typical coach for sure. Pop is in tune with what is going on around the world with people and with race. He's not afraid to voice his beliefs and his opinions. He's tried to help us realize that there are more things than basketball, more than the NBA. Pop credits being socially aware to growing up in East Chicago, Indiana, which is a racially diverse area. According to the most recent census, this area is about 58% Hispanic, 36% Black, and 24% white. Additionally, Pop credits his time in the military for making him more conscious of the world, along with his time playing for the U.S. Armed Forces basketball team in Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union, along with several other experiences. Pop is a graduate from the Air Force Academy. He has a bachelor's in Soviet science and at one point considered a career in the CIA. Despite his sarcasm and brief answers often regarding basketball.
Gregg Popovich, 4 for 22 shooting so far on offense for you guys. What's the problem?
Well, it didn't go in the hole.
He has always spoken out about his feelings towards things he deems important. Popovich voiced support for Kaepernick's national anthem protests in 2016 and has done so multiple times. Although today... Okay, so I recorded the regular part of this video on the 31st, right after the Kings game. But honestly, as soon as I saw that Popovich and Becky stood, I kind of felt like people were gonna have their opinions about it. And so I'm glad that I'm coming back to this a few days later. Mike Finger said that Popovich claimed that he preferred to keep that to himself as reasoning for standing, and everybody has to make personal decisions. For whatever reasons I reacted the way I wanted to. And they interviewed DeMar DeRozan about him and about Popovich and Becky standing, and DeMar said, Pop speaks out. When it comes to Becky, she's been on the front line fighting for equality since I've been a fan of hers playing in the WNBA. So everybody has their own right of making a statement, and you can't vilify nobody for not doing what the other group is doing. I'm all for it. So that's just to kind of clear the air on that. And I think that I really wanted to stress what DeMar and the players are saying, that Popovich has been speaking out about these things. Like, I even have a screenshot of the day before the Grizzlies game. Marco sat out, and this is literally, you can't see, this is a screenshot from Jeff McDonald. This is like, wow, that quality is fantastic. Just imagine a bunch of words, but there's like 2 solid paragraphs of Popovich talking about social justice before, no, 3 solid paragraphs. Then he just says, Marco Bellinelli is out today. It was a question about Marco, but he brings up social justice. So he says that white people don't understand the stresses of being black in America. As a white man, he has never had to lecture his own kids about how to interact with police. And he's had these conversations multiple times with different black people he's worked with throughout his career, including his assistant coaches. Popovich has also been openly critical of President Trump and his leadership on multiple occasions, calling him xenophobic, racist, homophobic, among other things.
This man in the Oval Office is a soulless coward.
This individual, he's in a game show. And everything that happens begins and ends with him.
However, Popovich's left political views contrast those of Spurs owner Juliana Holt. According to SA Express News, Ms. Holt was one of South Texas's largest donors to the Trump presidential campaign. She donated $5,400 to Trump's campaign and $250,000 to the Trump Victory Fund. The Holt family has owned the Spurs since 1996, but have never stood in the way of Popovich's views. When Popovich was asked if the Holt family had given him the freedom to say what he wanted about Trump, Popovich said, "They haven't given me that freedom. I live in America. That's what gives me the freedom." Following the death of George Floyd, the Spurs social media team launched a hashtag Spurs Voices series where Popovich said,
"It's important that we as white people, because I think nothing's going to happen, we have to do it. Black people have been shouldering this burden for 400 years. The only reason this nation has made the progress it has is because of the persistence and patience and effort of Black people. It's got to be us, in my opinion, that speak truth to power, that call it out no matter what the consequences."
A little over a month later, leading up to the NBA restart, when asked about how he maintained a balance between thinking about basketball and talking social justice, he said that he hadn't thought about basketball at all.
As we all are well aware, it's a seminal moment in the sense that we have an opportunity to do something transformative if we have the courage. And as with many things in today's world, interest wanes pretty quickly, no matter what the topic. And in this particular situation, talking about racism, it's been talked about many, many times over centuries. And this is where we are. So the league, the players, the coaches, the staff, everybody is very committed to keeping it up front in everybody's consciousness. Even though everybody's excited to go play, this is a great opportunity to make sure that we maintain the momentum, because that's what it takes.
During his time within the bubble, Popovich has remained consistent in his message as he continues to address racial issues and their importance. In response to the passing of civil rights activist John Lewis, Pop said, "You really feel an absence of decency, an absence of righteous effort for justice for everybody. Hopefully we can move on in a way that honors what he did his whole life, the opposite of what is going on now with the gutting of the Voting Rights Act." While Popovich continues to speak out on his beliefs, some will continue to criticize his words in opposition. But at the end of the day, Pop doesn't have social media, and I doubt that he would care, or I can't imagine him literally giving a flying poo. Something I've seen a lot of on social media, I could cite some examples from Twitter, is people accusing Popovich of white guilt. Any of the formal definition. So white guilt is the individual or collective guilt felt by some white people for harm resulting from racist treatment of ethnic minorities such as African Americans. It's not really, I wouldn't say that it's a good or bad thing, because I can't say that. Well, that's nice. I can't really say how you're supposed to feel about anything, obviously, but people accuse Popovich of having it, and I would say that when I see him being accused of it, he's accused of it in a negative way, but not saying he does or doesn't, because there's not scientific evidence to support my claim. But he does feel that as a white person, he should take responsibility for the racism happening in America. I think that's pretty clearly made through his videos and his statements in the past. So how you feel about that is up to you, the viewer. There are so many examples I could have included in this video as to how Popovich has acted in this way of being socially aware, in ways that he's shared this with his team, in ways that he's shared this with other people, to the media, but I would literally have to keep your attention for at least 20 years straight, so that concludes this video. be sure to like and subscribe. And in the next video, I will be talking about the WNBA since they are also in season. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. I am now closer to 100 subscribers than I am to 0.
Look to the camera and say bye, not me.
Oh, bye.